Welcome to Techumentary. In this Techumentary, we discuss depth cameras.
Depth cameras are devices which provide distance information about a scene. They contrast with normal cameras which provide colour and brightness information. Many depth cameras also contain a normal colour camera, so a single unit may produce both depth and colour information.
What data do depth cameras generate?
Depth cameras generate an array of depths. This is usually termed a depth map. Each element of a depth map gives the distance in a particular direction. Depth cameras produce data at about the same rate as colour cameras. For example, the Microsoft Kinect 1 generates a 640 by 480 depth map at 30 Hz. Depth cameras use a variety of techniques to sense distance. The three main techniques are stereo cameras, structured light cameras, and time-of-flight cameras. The stereo camera technique uses two or more cameras and finds common features in the scene for each camera. Combining the positions of those features from each camera's viewpoint with the known relative positions of each camera allows the 3D position of those features to be triangulated. That 3D data is then interpolated to fill the whole scene. Structured light cameras project a known light pattern into the world. When an object moves nearer a structured light camera, the projected pattern that reflects from that object is shifted to the side. The amount of this shift can be used to calculate the depth. Time-of-flight cameras are the newest generation of depth cameras. They work by measuring how long it takes for light to go from the camera, bounce off an object, and to return. Time-of-flight cameras are challenging to design and build because the speed of light is very high. For example, after being emitted from the camera, light takes just 20 nanoseconds to bounce off an object 3 meters away and to return. In order to measure distance accurately, time-of-flight cameras need a timing precision of less than 10 picoseconds. Both structured light and time-of-flight cameras usually use infrared light so that people cannot see the light that they emit. The main area that you may have come across is using a depth camera as a sensor for computer games. This allows you to interact with a game directly with your body, perhaps even without a controller. Staying within the game's context, depth cameras can also provide non-control information to a game, such as how many people are in the room, or is the player looking at the game. In robotics, depth cameras can be used for simultaneous localization and mapping. That's generating a model of the real world whilst also figuring out where in that model the camera is. As the cost of depth cameras comes down, we might expect them to become as ubiquitous as normal colour cameras and used for the same large variety of things. More widely, we might imagine that the useful data that depth cameras provide may also allow us to enhance our day-to-day lives in new ways. Perhaps your house could sense that you are reading a book on the couch and adjust the lighting appropriately. I'm sure you can imagine many scenarios where depth cameras could make your life more interesting or more fun.
In the next Techumentary, we discuss interactive surfaces with Dr. Tom Bartendale.